This episode of Headlock Talk is brought to you by Austin-based company Naturally Hemp's and their new line of CBD gummies. These gummies are made with 100% baked-in, pharmaceutical-grade, non-isolate-based CBD. What we're talking about here is the entourage effect. The entourage effect refers to the stronger effect you get when combining multiple cannabinoids together, as opposed to just CBD. Full-spectrum CBD, or CBD distillate, tends to be more potent and lasts longer, which is what we're talking about here. Unlike some other brands that use a spray-on CBD, Naturally Hemp CBD distillate is baked in, so you know you're getting the full dose with each gummy. I personally use them for all kinds of things, like sleep aid or muscle pain. And did I mention they taste great? They got 5 flavors, strawberry, green apple, lemon lime, watermelon, and get this, the orange flavor has vitamin C in it. Ooh. So if this sounds like something you could go for, head over to your nearest Create a Sig vape shop and pick yours up today to see for yourself the difference Naturally Hemp's gummies can make in your life.
Oh man, can you feel it? Can you feel it in the air? Can you smell it? Ooh, smell in the air.
I think I know what you're talking about. Sensations all over my body.
It's like something that I only experience once a year.
What does it smell like,
It smells like dreams. Smells like dreams.
Smells like victory.
Smells like victory. Smells like hope.
Oh, I see.
Smells like some title changes.
Possibly. Some heel turns?
Some heel turns,
Yeah,
maybe. Some surprises.
Yeah, probably.
Oh man. But you know what else? You know what else it smells like?
What does that smell like?
It smells like Headlock Talk, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here with another episode of Headlock Talk, ladies and gentlemen. I'm of course Tanner. To my left,
I'm to your right, man.
oh jeez.
To
my left is another chair.
Yes.
To my right, the one and only Steven.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Steven.
This is how excited we are for WrestleMania. We can't even tell our left and rights from each other,
Dude,
people.
I'm upside down and backwards, ladies and gentlemen. That's how excited.
Wait, if you were upside down and backwards,
That means I'd be like right side.
but wait,
Wouldn't that put me back where I am?
yeah, wait, no, because then I would be to your left if you were upside down and backwards.
See, now you're on the train here,
You're
Steven.
welcome.
You're on the train of thought. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very excited about this episode today because we devoted a little bit of time last time, obviously, to the NXT card, which, I'll say it again, I've said it publicly many times, and I think Steven's here to agree with me. Not only is this is this NXT takeover, is it a candidate for show of the weekend, but I think it's a candidate for show of the year.
Absolutely.
Based on what the card looks like.
Yeah.
I think the G1 Super card, if done well, has a chance for that
Absolutely.
too. So I look forward to it greatly. But they only call it WrestleMania weekend for one reason.
Is it because that's when WrestleMania is?
Ding, 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 ding.
I did it.
We have a winner, Steven.
I did it.
Hell yeah. You did it, Steven. For anybody who didn't know, WrestleMania weekend is aptly named WrestleMania weekend because of WrestleMania.
Indeed.
And this card this year looks, from top to bottom, pretty solid.
Pretty solid, yeah.
All things considered, you know, they didn't have, they didn't really give it a lot of booking from a lot of these matches. It was done it felt a little bit rushed in some of the parts here.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about it last week, and you know, some of the storylines that they're pushing or trying to have people go over in or whatever, some of them really should have been developed, you know, weeks ago, or had, you know, a little bit more matches, maybe some other angles to the storyline to make it a little bit better. But all in all, I think they've done a decent job of building most of these matches.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, if we go line by line, which we will, I think we'll find that there is some quality build to it, especially in the matches where it counts. Mm-hmm. And I think that we're definitely in for some surprises here. So why don't we dig right into it?
Let's do it.
As of right now, that we're looking at probably about a 2-hour pre-show, and probably about a 4-hour main card. At least we hope it goes 4 hours. It might go 5.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't.
I mean,
I gotta work in the morning.
if it's 5, I'll be fine, but I want them to make it worth it for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm definitely not opposed to watching 5 hours of WrestleMania if you make it worthwhile. You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. So yeah, let's go ahead and dig into it here, and we'll kind of catch you guys up to speed with some of the storylines and how they coincide with these matches here, of course. So we'll talk a little bit about. Let's go with the pre-show matches here first.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what's going on with those. So Tony Nese versus Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight Championship. Tony Nese won a tournament to get him that spot against Buddy Murphy. I think a lot of people were thinking it might have been Cedric Alexander to have a rematch against Buddy Murphy from when Murphy won the title.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think that might be a little bit more sort of WrestleMania that has the bigness of WrestleMania a little bit more than this match might,
perhaps.
But I mean, Tony Nese, he definitely deserves it. Yeah, he fought his way here. He's got the opportunity.
He won a tournament.
He did win the entire tournament, so good on him. I think in terms of storylines, it might have been better to go with Cedric Alexander, but you know, we have the match. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. From the outset of just looking at this card top to bottom, I'm feeling like this would probably be one instance in which the heel wins this one here. Not that I would consider Tony Nese a babyface by any extent, because I think that he's got some heelish tendencies himself.
Right.
But Buddy Murphy seems to be the stronger heel in here, and he's obviously the retaining champion. I think that he will retain the title in this match in particular.
I mean, honestly, I don't see any reason to drop it, really. I mean, Buddy Murphy's been on fire, you know, in the Cruiserweight division, so I don't see any reason for him to drop it. I'd say Buddy Murphy retains as well.
Cool. So we're on the same page here so far.
So far.
Matches that have also been designated most likely to be on the pre-show, from what we're looking at here, we've got the Women's Battle Royal. We're not calling it the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal like it was last year. There was Snickers got involved in that one and definitely took down Fabulous Moolah's name off of that match. You can research that on your own, ladies and gentlemen. But we have a list here of participants that have been announced for the Women's Battle Royal. We've got Dana Brooke, Mickie James, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. All from Raw. We have Asuka, Carmella, Naomi, Lana, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Zelina Vega, and Nikki Cross from SmackDown. Too few names to be in a Battle Royal so far, but obviously they're going to throw in more names here, I think, by the time we get there.
For sure.
Is there anybody who stands out to you here, Steven?
Well, I mean, at this point, my immediate, what's the word I'm looking for? Prediction.
Yeah.
Would have to be Asuka. Just because of the controversial match that she was in with Charlotte, resulting in her losing her SmackDown Women's title.
Yeah.
I think at this point, to keep Asuka in the limelight and to keep her name relevant and big, I think Asuka would have to be the person that wins this match.
I agree. I would agree with that being a good logical move. I could also see it being somebody else. The name that comes to mind here for me would be Lacey Evans, because we've been seeing week in, week out on SmackDown, on Raw. Lacey Evans comes out, her music hits, she waves to the crowd, she walks down the ramp, waves again, makes some snarky comments, turns back around, and walks up the ramp. So we haven't really seen a whole lot of what Lacey Evans can do since she was in the Women's Royal Rumble match a few months ago,
which she did a fantastic job in.
She was fine. Yeah,
she's all right, I guess.
She did what she was supposed to do.
She was in there for what, like 17, 18 minutes?
A pretty extended amount of time
for. I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought she did a great job.
Yeah, like I said, she did what was needed to, and I think that maybe we get a surprise here, and perhaps Lacey Evans wins She has been billed as somebody who could be another face of the women's revolution here. So we'll have to check and see where it goes.
I actually like that idea. I didn't even really think about it, but that makes a lot of sense, considering how much she's been shown to us, but then also at the same time how little she's been shown to us as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how they get you, Steven.
Yeah.
So I think Asuka's possible, Lacey Evans is possible. I mean, those would be the two that stand out to me above everybody else.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But that's not to say, it could be anybody. It really could. Let's talk about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal here, the men's battle royal. Yes, we have to. I mean, a lot has been made about this match, and I'll be the first to say, I'm not a huge fan of this whole angle with Braun Strowman and the guys from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Colin Jost has been probably the biggest heel on the Raw roster, and he doesn't even work for the company. I mean, he got booed out of Boston for wearing that New York Yankees hat.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I guess let's run down the participants here.
Mm-hmm.
We got Braun Strowman, obviously.
Yeah.
Michael Che, Colin Jost, Apollo Crews, Titus O'Neil, Tyler Breeze, Jinder Mahal, Noe Jose, Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, Kalisto, Grand Metalik, Lince Dorado, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, Heath Slater, Rhino, Victor, and Connor from the Ascension. And then on SmackDown, we have Andrade. Woo! I don't care what anybody says. His name's Mustafa Ali. I'm gonna call.
Yeah.
So Mustafa Ali is in this battle royal. Just want to make sure everybody knows who I'm talking about. Shelton Benjamin, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Matt and Jeff Hardy, plus Otis, Tucker, and EC3.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll repeat the question. Who stands out here? Steven's staring at me, smirking.
Here's my problem with this match, okay?
Yeah. Tell me about it, Steven.
So the problem I have with it is that I don't see anyone going over other than Braun Strowman. That's who's going to win this match.
So wait, you mean to tell me that neither Michael Che nor Colin Jost stand a chance?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
The thing that really bothers me about this match, it's going to be fine. It's not going to be like a terrible match or anything like that, but my problem with it is the participant list on this match really highlights what I've been saying for a long time. There are too many people on this roster.
Yeah.
There's way too many people on this roster. And so now you're left with a Battle Royal match, which, let's be honest here, it's all going to be Braun Strowman, Michael Che, and what's his name?
Colin Jost.
Colin Jost. It's going to be their match. And so now you have 15 other guys that are just there for no reason,
right,
because you're paying them and they need to do something. And so...
Well, and Vince is this is one of those cases where Vince is actually a very charitable man. Despite what John Oliver may say or think about Vince McMahon, this is one key area where I think Vince is a lot more charitable than maybe other people.
In what way?
Other promoters. Well, look, Vince understands that these guys obviously work for a living. They're on his payroll. I mean that's fairly obvious,
as
right?
Independent contractors.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. So, but Vince understands that this is the biggest payday of the year for all these guys, and why not spread that money for everybody, as opposed to just a few select names. So that's why you have these two battle royals on here.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, if you look over some of these names, like Jinder Mahal, for example, he was on the main card last year. He's going to be on the pre-show this year. Braun Strowman, he's a huge name to be here. Yeah, I mean that's Andrade, Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
You know, these are guys who deserve to make a good paycheck this WrestleMania, I think.
Right, and I definitely don't disagree with that. It's just when you take a look at the storyline that was built around this match,
Yeah.
you have Braun Strowman and the two guys from SNL.
Yeah,
That
100%.
is the storyline for this match.
Yeah.
And so now, from a storyline perspective, you're really just throwing in a bunch of people for no reason. And I do understand your reasoning there, and that's nice. You know, WrestleMania, obviously, big payday, want to share the wealth or whatever.
Yeah.
I get that, and I think that's admirable, but I think it was a mistake putting the celebrities in this match. Not even just because I'm not a huge fan of when celebrities come into wrestling, just in general, really.
Yeah.
But I think it's to the detriment of the match, storyline wise, just because there's really no other way that this could go. You know, and so it's just a bunch of guys wrestling in a ring. We already know how it's gonna go, and it's on the pre-show, so whatever, it'll be fine. But
Yeah.
I don't know, this match just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree in that Braun Strowman's the big name that stands out to me to win this match. You also have Matt and Jeff Hardy in this match, though. And Matt Hardy, like I said, he's looking to retain his Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy. Maybe his brother wants that trophy as well, perhaps. Maybe some brother, infighting here.
Sibling rivalry.
Sibling.
I mean, possibly, yeah. I mean, you have the Hardys in there. You have Mustafa Ali and Andrade, Jinder Mahal. You know, all these guys
Yeah.
are really talented guys, and there's definitely opportunities for smaller storylines within the match. I just mean in terms of the build toward the match. Not necessarily the match itself and what happens in the match, but just the build to it. You know, with me
right.
not liking celebrities, or not like in general, but just celebrities in wrestling, it just really didn't do anything for me.
Yep.
You know.
No, I agree. Yeah, but that's what the tune is for WrestleMania. You got to make it as big as possible, and it's in New York. You know, Saturday Night Live, a big. I was gonna say it's a company, but I guess it's not. It's just like it's a big staple of New York, I guess. New York culture. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense, I guess, in a way. But yeah, I 100% see your point.
Yeah.
So that is the two battle royals plus the cruiserweight match. Now there is a match that's rumored to be floating around as well, and I can also imagine that being on the pre-show, and that would be the Revival match against Zack Ryder. And Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning this to me.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Steven?
I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah. So here's some context, and we talked about it a little bit last time. The Revival, and this is just the narrative that I'm spinning. It's not the narrative that WWE is spinning. This is my narrative here. But the Revival have definitely made it more than clear that they're not fully satisfied with their positioning on the card.
It's kind of an understatement.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
Keep going.
I mean, they've said things like, if you guys are Twitter users out there, I think there was a picture posted by a fan where it was like his nephews, like this fan's nephews, were like, having these replica tag team titles. He's like, look at my nephews, they're tag team champions. And then one of the Revival guys was like, I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. That's a bit harsh.
That's rough.
There was also a story about a guy who went to a live show. He was like sitting near the front row wearing an AEW shirt, and he caught the eye, I guess, of the guys from the Revival, and they walked by him. They're like, "We'll see you in May."
Isn't Double or Nothing in May?
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So, I think the word gets back to Vince or to Triple H or to anybody there, and I think that leaves a pretty sour taste in corporate's eyes, especially since they put the titles on them. So I think we're no longer seeing the Revival versus Ricochet and Aleister Black match that you and I were really pushing for a while. I think this is now pretty clear. Not only are we going to see the Revival on the pre-show and not the main show of WrestleMania, but to me, it sounds like they're going to be dropping the title to Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. Kurt Hawkins is going to break his losing streak here.
I mean, good for him. Good for him.
That's what I think.
Oh, when's their contract up?
I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago. They asked for their release, and they were told, "Hey," or at least this is what's been going around, that they could leave if they weren't fully satisfied. Still, I mean, there have been plenty of guys who've been released from their contracts this year already. Dean Ambrose is nowhere to be seen on this card, so who knows where his future is.
Maybe he's one of the surprises.
Maybe. Hopefully, I hope that if he does re-sign Dean Ambrose, that he is kept far away from TV, maybe given like a little vacation for a few months, and then to come back, and then the fans just lose their minds.
Yeah, I would lose my mind.
I think that. Yeah. I know I would. I think that would
big Dean Ambrose fan. He's awesome.
I think that would be a great way to reintroduce him after all these people are like, oh, well, maybe he's going somewhere. You know? Yeah, I think that'd be cool. But moreover to this point here, I think the Revival are going to drop their titles at Mania. And I think it was more or less a punishment to, not saying that Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder are awful by any chance. They're certainly not the most pushed guys on the roster. But I think if you're looking at stock here, the Revival would much rather drop their titles to guys who like Ricochet and Aleister Black, who are on their way up, rather than guys who are stagnating like Ryder and Hawkins.
Yeah,
Ryder and Hawkins used to actually be a pretty decent tag team when they were on the indie scene. So who knows? Happened? They came to WWE.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anymore.
Yeah. Zack Ryder started doing that YouTube special thing that he would do, and that's how he got over in WWE.
Okay.
Yeah. He was the first guy to use the internet. Did you know that?
Ever.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice. Zack Ryder, father of the internet.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. It went. It goes Al Gore, and then Zack Ryder right after him.
I see.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Okay. Interesting. I did not know that.
So moving right along here, I think that's all we've got here for the pre-show.
Yeah.
So this is in no order here, and I mean, I don't even think I could come close to predicting the exact order of this card. So I think we're just gonna try and
too many big matches.
Yeah, we're just gonna try and go for it here, guys.
Yeah.
So what I'm looking at right now, I would say probably from the matches we see on the Wikipedia page here, the ones that have been announced as official, I would probably say Shane versus Miz probably starts in a Falls Count Anywhere match. That was a stipulation that was added fairly recently, and I could see this being a pretty big blow-off here to their feud. I mean, unless they want to continue it, which by all means they could.
They absolutely could.
I mean, I'm kind of 50-50 on this one here. I could see it going either way, Steven.
I mean, I really don't know. It kind of just depends. You know, if the Miz beats Shane, that's pretty much going to be the end of the rivalry. But if Shane comes out and defeats the Miz, who knows how long we can get that rivalry for. I mean, me personally, I think they have really good chemistry together, and I think they cut really good promos, and their back and forth is very believable.
Yep.
So I don't see why they wouldn't or couldn't continue this. I just don't know if Shane does beat the Miz. I don't know how that is on the scale of baby faces and heels going over in all the other matches. You know what I mean?
This feels to me like it's a pretty babyface heavy show. Like a lot of this that I'm seeing here right off the bat is like, okay, the babyface is going over.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to some of these championship matches.
Yeah.
Since there's not a championship at stake, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to Shane going over and the Miz rivalry continuing on more.
Yeah.
But of course, if Miz's dad is going to be there, which I mean that might happen.
handicap match. Miz and Miz's dad versus Shane McMahon.
Yeah, no, just Miz's dad.
kidding.
Miz's dad comes out in like a hot dog truck and like smashes Shane up.
How it comes out in a Oscar Mayer wiener van and uses a fire truck hose to spray mustard all over him.
Death by mustard.
Yeah.
And then Shane gets the pin. 1, 2, 3.
There you go, man.
So I think that's what we're going with. Miz winning by mustard.
By mustard, yeah. No, in all actuality, though, I think Shane's gonna go over here, and I think we're gonna get at least another month, maybe another couple months with this rivalry.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, for sure. I could see it. I could see either way going. Another match that's on here that probably could open, and I think this would probably get the crowd pretty fired up. In all honesty, this Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. Angle's farewell match.
Yeah.
I don't see this one going for very long.
No. I mean, the match is here to say goodbye to Kurt.
Yep.
It's not really necessarily here to put anyone over or
Except for
entertain like crazy, right? Except for Kurt, or entertain like crazy or anything like that. This match is here for a purpose. So I agree with you. I don't really see it going too long, really.
And on Raw, they had a really nice video package for Kurt. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it was super emotional, and Kurt got super emotional, and you could see like he was crying a little bit,
tearing up a little bit.
tearing up a little bit.
It was a really nice promo.
It was a very nice promotional package for sure. And I mean, look. In many ways, someone's final match is like, okay, you're supposed to go out on your shield, right? Like you're supposed to, you do the job because other guys did the job for you, right?
Right.
But this is one of those unique cases where Baron Corbin can only get over more by being more hated, and I think the more that people have just been tired of Baron Corbin, I think that they think perhaps Kurt's going to go over here, and it's going to be nice.
Yeah,
Everybody gets a feel good sending away for Kurt.
I really do think that Kurt's gonna go over here. I mean, it's just a really, really bad look if Baron Corbin does go over, just because of the hate that a lot of the WWE universe has for Corbin. And I do get the whole going out on your shield kind of thing, but Baron Corbin is not the person to beat Kurt in his last match. That's just no.
I completely agree. Well, yeah, I think Kurt's gonna quick angle slam, quick locking of the ankle lock.
Yep.
He's gonna stand over him, and then maybe like sit down on it. Lean it back, totally. Put that torque into that ankle.
Oh yeah.
And Corbin just wailing on the mat.
Oh yeah, wailing on the mat. He's gonna tap immediately. Angle's gonna keep the lock going for a while after the tap, and that'll be that.
Maybe some confetti drops.
Oh yeah.
It'd be cool if they let the fans. You know how like at indie shows like Ring of Honor and PWG and Progress, how like they'll let the fans bring in like streamers to throw into the ring.
Yeah.
I think that would be deserving for
that
Kurt
would be
here.
really cool for sure.
Yeah.
It works a little bit better in the
Smaller.
the indie scene, in the smaller venue, just because you don't really have to throw a streamer that hard to go 4 feet to the ring,
true.
Whereas with especially a venue like WrestleMania, and I can only imagine the venue's going to be nuts.
Yeah, MetLife Stadium is a pretty big place.
Yeah, I mean, really only the first or second row would be able to.
You could let the first 5 rows have like, you know how they put like little signs that they tape underneath your seat or whatever. Yeah, you just be like, hey, here,
pretty cool.
Here's a streamer roll.
Cool.
Go ahead and throw it at the.
Or if they just have some officials with like confetti cannons out there or something. Let a kid fire a confetti cannon.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think Kurt's gonna have a nice little farewell match here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title. It was revealed on Monday Night Raw.
Super excited.
Yeah.
Yep. Real excited.
In case you didn't know, Finn is bringing the demon out here for this one, which is a bit odd, I will note. Finn said he didn't need the demon for Brock Lesnar, but apparently he needs the demon for Bobby Lashley.
I did think that was kind of weird also. I don't really know what's up there. I mean, Bobby Lashley is he's no Brock Lesnar.
I mean, yeah, I would like to see. I would actually like to see a Brock Lesnar Bobby Lashley match. I think it would be a bit of a car wreck, but two big dudes smashing on each other.
It's like a car wreck. Like you don't want to watch it, but you can't look away.
Yeah,
it's that kind of thing. Yeah.
But yeah, no, these guys here, they'll have a nice little match. Yeah. I do see Finn. I mean, the Demon's unbeaten, so I do see Demon Finn winning that title off of Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for Bobby to go over at this point.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of reason for Finn to go over.
Yeah.
Considering he got screwed out of that Universal. I mean, the match went on, but he got screwed in that match.
Right.
In the match and in storyline. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I see Finn going over here.
And Finn could have a lot better matches, I think, with more guys on the undercard than perhaps Bobby Lashley could.
Yeah.
Nothing against Bobby Lashley. But it changes things up for new matches. I think we're going to see pretty soon here, we're going to see Rude and Gable split up.
Yeah.
Bobby Roode was very distraught over their recent loss this weekend. Mm-hmm. So I could see them splitting up. Finn Balor having maybe a little bit of a feud with Rude. I would also like to see a feud with Gable. Chad Gable, he needs a little bit of a push here. Yeah. I think a feud with Finn could help out.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of guys, I think, that you could line up for Finn.
Mm-hmm.
This next one here has a little bit of controversy to it. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. Now, that was put together a few weeks back, and a lot of people were scratching their heads thinking that Rey was going to have a match with Andrade.
Right.
Cien Almas, that is. However, they put Rey Mysterio in this match here with Samoa Joe, and as recent as Monday Night Raw, when Rey Mysterio had a match with Baron Corbin, something went wrong a little bit. And it was reported by WWE, Rey Mysterio has injured his ankle. So that really sucks for Rey. That's awful timing.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's good to go.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I've heard, Steven?
What's that?
I've heard, a little bird told me, that John Cena has this mystery match planned.
I see.
Things change all the time in WWE.
Yeah.
I could see John Cena being there as backup to go into this match against Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Whether or not he would win the U.S. title off of Joe, I mean, does he need to win the U.S. title? Come on, Steven.
Okay. Now I need this to happen.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Mr. Tanner.
I'm waiting.
You know how much I love spinner belts.
Oh, God.
Can we bring back the U.S. spinner belt?
There was a U.S. spinner belt?
Yes.
Dude, I don't.
This was before the WWE spinner belt.
I vaguely remember. Now that you're mentioning it, I vaguely remember.
Had American flag in it, diamond-studded U.S. that spun.
Yeah.
You remember this now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring that back.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, I mean, John Cena U.S. title reign, I'll take it. I mean, it's not really the most built-to thing in the world, but I mean, I'll take it. I'm a big fan of John Cena.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hate for Samoa Joe to have to lose so much under these kind of circumstances, though. So, I mean, like, if Rey's good to go, I very much see Samoa Joe retaining here, right? We do have to have some heels winning on this here.
Right.
And Samoa Joe needs to look strong, I think. But again, if they have to change plans and it's John Cena, I mean, it's going to be very difficult for them to, I guess, to not feel like they have to pull the trigger and give it to John Cena.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another one of those dream matches, though, Samoa Joe and John Cena, I think.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it would make, if that match does happen, Samoa Joe versus John Cena, it would make more sense in the grand scheme of things for John Cena to go over. However, with the way the United States Championship is right now, I think that would be a huge detriment to Samoa Joe and his momentum that he's been building.
Yep.
That
or
being
not building, depending.
Well, that being said, though, if the match does happen and we get John Cena U.S. champ, you won't hear a peep of disagreements for me, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, that would be cool. I wouldn't mind at all. I mean, you'd be asking John Cena to do a bit more work, obviously.
Yeah.
You'd want him to be a defending champ, and I guess you could always have him drop the title back to Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't
he's
be an
busy
issue.
filming Marine 47 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marine in it. I believe that's the tagline to the movie. No, I'm not.
Oh my God. I was like, they need to fire their marketer.
The Marine 47. Marining it.
Marining with Marines. In the Marine.
Marining.
The entire movie takes place in a submarine.
Yeah. deep underwater.
Yeah. Okay. Back to that was weird.
It was fun though. I like it. Just kind of going over things here. There's supposed to be an Elias segment somewhere.
Cool.
Yeah, he's supposed to have a performance. Obviously, every time that Elias wants to perform, somebody comes out and there's some shenanigans. Who would you like to see come out and ruin Elias's WrestleMania moment?
Man, that's a heavy question.
Yeah, could be anybody.
Who do you want?
In all honesty, I could see it being a few people. I mean, with it being New York, I'm trying to think of like New York-centric superstars.
Yeah.
That could interrupt. Not Enzo Amore, not Big Cass. I'd prefer that not to be the case here. I mean, he's not New York-centric, but I could see Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out to a huge pop. And then, like, going in there, maybe playing some guitar with Elias.
Yeah.
And then just, like, Stone Cold Stunner, and then beer bath everywhere.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I could see that
For
happening.
some reason, the name JBL is popping into my head.
Yeah.
I actually like JBL.
Like, wheels down in his limousine to greet Elias.
Who knows?
Tip of the cowboy hat to him.
You could do it.
Share some stock advice.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest here. I don't know enough wrestlers to really give an accurate, based in logic prediction
it could
here.
be anybody. I mean, it could be The Rock. Mick Foley's from New York.
Oh man, yeah,
It could be Mick.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean,
like your Stone Cold prediction. That'd be dope.
Yeah, we haven't seen Stone Cold since 30. Which one was the one in Dallas in Cowboy Stadium? I think that was 32. Yeah, we haven't seen him since then. So I think it would be nice to have Stone Cold back on.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else? Looking through here, looking at this card. Boston Hug Connection versus the Divas of Doom versus the Iconics versus Nia Jax and Tamina. Boo. So, the Divas of Doom, Beth Phoenix and Natalya. Beth Phoenix specifically looked just as good on Raw this past week as she did before she retired. I think that would be those ladies would be heavy favorites going into this match, the Divas of Doom, and it'd be nice to have Beth Phoenix and Natalya make a little bit of a run.
Yeah.
Bayley and Sasha Banks have held the titles for a while. They haven't had too many defenses though. They've just more or less like paraded the title a little bit.
Right. I mean, with this match, I definitely see a title change. For sure. It's one of two teams, either Divas of Doom or, unfortunately, Nia Jax and Tamina.
Yeah.
Now, Nia Jax and Tamina would be suicide for the women's division to put that that belt on Nia Jax and Tamina personally. However, we have a lot of heel face matchups here, and if you want to keep that even, maybe you do give these belts to Nia Jax and Tamina.
Right. Well, and I could see that happening. Nia Jax and Tamina winning, and then maybe losing them in the next pay-per-view or two to the Divas of Doom. I don't see Beth Phoenix and Natalya going anywhere anytime soon. Beth Phoenix is, like I said, looking in great shape, and she was definitely laying it into the ladies on Raw. So I could see that happening. I mean, Boss and Hug could win the titles back also at some point, but I'm kind of in line with you here.
Do you see them retaining at all, or
it's a strong possibility. I think it would have been a stronger possibility. Okay, let me refrain real quick. The main event, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, there was a lot of thought about what the actual stipulation was going to be after Charlotte won the women's title off of Asuka.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were thinking, okay, well, maybe this match could it be winner take all, or is it going to be something along the lines of, if you pin a champion, you win their title.
Right.
I thought that could have been a dynamic too. So
it's a little confusing though, a little complicated.
Kind of. I mean, Becky pins Charlotte. She wins the SmackDown title. Becky pins Ronda. She wins the Raw title.
Yeah.
Becky or Ronda pin or submit each other.
Just makes more sense to be like whoever gets the pin gets the gold.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
True. I guess where I'm going with this is, I think the idea could have been Becky. I'm giving this away, but you could have had a 4 horsewomen moment at the close of Mania.
Yeah,
where like whoever wins whatever title, right? You have Becky in the ring with the title, you have Charlotte in the ring with the title, and then you have the Boss and Hug connection come down to the ring as well, and they all share a nice moment together, all holding up the belts, and then hold up the belts and take a bow, and then kind of all look over Ronda Rousey as she's outside the ring,
decimated,
basically.
Yeah.
I mean, so a week ago I felt stronger about saying the Boss and Hug connection would retain. At this point, I think that those chances are a little bit weaker.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get into some more of the meat of this card here.
It's a lot of beef.
Let's see here. Ooh, here's a good one.
Yeah.
AJ Styles versus Randy Orton.
So, for me, this match is junk food. Because there's not a crazy amount of build up to it. They did have a pretty nice promo on SmackDown, on last SmackDown. Not too much build up, but it's AJ Styles, Randy Orton. Those two guys are fantastic.
You don't need a lot of build up for that.
You don't need a lot of build up for it. Those guys are great. They're gonna go in and have a great match. So I consider it junk food just because, there's not that much substance to it, but it's delicious. You know what I mean?
People have been asking for this match since AJ was in TNA and New Japan, for that matter. The basic premise to this here is, AJ was on the independent scene for a long, long time. Randy Orton has been in WWE his entire career. These guys couldn't have had two more different paths to get where they are today. I think Randy kind of resents AJ's popularity with the crowd, despite not being like a household name like he was. And I think AJ just really kind of doesn't care what Randy thinks of him. And he's willing to prove him wrong. This is a very interesting dynamic here. Thoughts on a winner here, Steven?
Oh man, I don't even want to guess.
Yeah.
It is 50-50. Like 100%. I really just don't know. It could go either way. The winner of this depends on the winner of the next couple matches, to be honest.
Yeah, very true. This and
excuse me.
That's okay. I could be alone here in this line of thinking, but this to me has a lot of shades of when Triple H had his match with Sting at WrestleMania 31, where like it was built about like Triple H has been like this WWE guy for so long, and Sting's this WCW legend. he said he was never going to be in WWE and all this and that. So, it has that kind of standoffish dynamic of the WWE guy against, the guy coming from the outside. And in that, in those roles, Triple H won that match, albeit it was not a great match. But, I think WWE has a tendency to make sure that their more prominent WWE guys get the victory.
For sure.
So,
definitely can't argue with your logic there.
Yeah, I mean, AJ won last year to retain the title. It's not like AJ's hurting for wins. Either guy isn't hurting for wins here. Right. So I agree. It's real 50-50. If I had to pick somebody right off the bat, though, I'd be picking Randy Orton. Not that my heart likes that, but I like AJ. AJ's cool.
Yeah, I like both of them.
Yeah,
I mean, they're both great.
They're both great.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, almost forgot about this one here. This was just announced on SmackDown. We've got the Usos defending the SmackDown Tag Team Championships against Ricochet and Aleister Black, The Bar, and Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. I mean, we've talked about this quite a bit.
Yeah.
The possibility of Ricochet and Aleister Black having a double, tag team title thing going on over the course of WrestleMania weekend. First on Friday with TakeOver, and then here on WrestleMania. We thought it would be with the Raw titles,
right?
But I mean, now that I think about it a little bit more, with the Fox deal coming around, Fox wants a more athletic looking product. Aleister Black and Ricochet are probably two of the most dynamic names that you could have on a roster.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're looking for more athletic product here. I mean, I'm going to go with Aleister Black and Ricochet. I think they lose to the War Raiders at TakeOver. They take a bow. They say farewell to NXT, and they come out here at WrestleMania swinging and flying and kicking.
Yeah,
and
spinning, and lots of stuff. I mean, this match for me can pretty much go one of two ways. Either the Usos retain, leading to a rivalry with Ricochet and Aleister Black, or leading almost to the same thing, Aleister Black and Ricochet get the titles, leading to a rivalry with the Usos. Honestly,
yeah,
those are the two ways that I can see it going.
Yeah.
I would love to see them be double tag team champs. I don't think that will happen necessarily. I think it'd be really cool and a really really cool storyline. I don't think it'll happen, but yeah, one of two ways. My heart says Ricochet and Aleister Black, so I'll go with Ricochet Aleister Black for this one.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with Ricochet and Aleister Black as well. I think that you could have a really cool dynamic where maybe they win the title even though they don't pin one of the Usos. And then Jimmy and Jey Uso cut promos saying, well, what have you done to deserve the title? You didn't even pin us. We were the champs. And they could, it could unravel into a great series of matches over the next few pay-per-views. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
Long-term booking-wise, that's the way I would go.
Yeah, and that'd be a cool rivalry, too, because even outside of the ring, if you take a look at the Usos, Ricochet, and Aleister Black, those guys can talk smack. They can really talk some smack, and so seeing all four of those guys go at it verbally and physically, I think would be really really awesome.
Yeah, the Usos are definitely good workers. Aleister Black and Ricochet are also definitely good workers.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really great rivalry to have, especially if you're trying to say, okay, well, here's what we can see coming up down the road after WrestleMania.
For sure.
So yeah, I like Ricochet and Aleister Black winning here though.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else? So we went over AJ and Orton. Okay. Looks like we
got the Triple H match.
Yeah, we got Triple H and Batista. No holds barred match. If Triple H loses, he must retire from in-ring competition.
Yep.
I mean, right off the bat, a lot of this angle has been pointing, for me, or at least signaling to the opposite. That this is Batista's last match, not Triple H's last match.
Right.
Not that I see Triple H doing too many more matches in the future, but I think this is more about Batista's retirement than Triple H's retirement. What do you think, Steven?
No, I would pretty much agree with that. I think at this point, with Triple H being such a huge name, in the actual product of WWE and the actual behind the scenes of running the company. Triple H is huge.
Yeah.
And Batista also huge, but you have to admit nowhere near as big as he was before he left WWE the first time. So I would say Triple H really has to win here for his character to continue in the way that he has been. So yeah, I would go Triple H here. I do just want to say though, this is going to be a great match.
Yeah,
This is going to be a great match.
Yeah, I mean, I think Batista, maybe not in wrestling circles, is as big of a name anymore because you've got a new generation of fans.
Well, that's what I mean, right? In the wrestling circle,
right?
Yeah. Obviously, he's
obviously a lot bigger. Yeah, he's a lot bigger in the Hollywood circle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the no holds barred stipulation is going to help this match a lot because I think no holds barred matches always help Triple H. And I mean,
cerebral assassin.
Yeah, Triple H and Batista have a long history of great matches, and the story really is, and this goes back to one of I think it was SmackDown 1000 that they did recently. You had all 4 members of Evolution come out: Triple H, Batista, Ric Flair, and Randy Orton. They were all reunited in the same ring at the same time.
Beautiful.
I think Batista was going on and on about he was giving Triple H some very flattering compliments, and then he ends it with, "Yeah, you did all this, but you never beat me." And it was like, oh man, you could kind of see that Triple H chuckled, and then serious dad face.
Yeah. It's like, wait a second.
Wait, what? I can't do a Triple H voice like I can do Vince's voice.
I can do Vince. I can't do Triple H.
But yeah, I think that this is going to be Triple H going over on Batista. So kind of the opposite of what we're seeing with Kurt Angle. Batista's going out on his shield,
right?
In this one, it'll be brutal. It'll be violent.
Yep.
I think it'll be really nice. Triple H is the master of planning out these kind of matches. I look forward to it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I know there hasn't been huge amounts of build for this match, but the small amount of promos that they have done for it, I think really, really worked. And they've just been really nice.
The video package Batista did on Raw.
Exactly, yeah. It's all nice. It's all just really, really nice. Obviously, Triple H, fantastic wrestler. Batista, fantastic actor. These promos are great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're drawing near the end here, Steven.
Yep.
Have you enjoyed our journey so far into WrestleMania?
Absolutely. I'm going to enjoy it even more when I can actually watch it.
When we can watch it,
and we don't have to be guessing on, or educated guessing on who's going to win these matches.
Yeah, but I think it's just fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're down to our last 3 matches.
Oh man.
I don't see a better place to start here than with Daniel Bryan defending the WWE Championship against Kofi Kingston. There was another great segment here on this week's SmackDown.
Yeah.
For the contract signing between Daniel Bryan and Kofi. Daniel Bryan doing his classic heel work, educating the crowd, giving life lessons about Kofi and how fans shouldn't be like Kofi. Don't be a someone on the sidelines of your own life.
Of your own life, yeah. Which I thought was brutal, man.
Yeah, there were some very cutting truths there in that promo from Daniel Bryan. I think what was nice to see, and we've talked about it on previous episodes, but you would always see Xavier Woods and Big E talking for Kofi.
Right.
That seemed to be a theme, and it was awesome to see Kofi get on the mic this time and be like, "Listen, Daniel, you don't know anything about me, man. When you got a title opportunity within the first 2 years of you being here, I've never had a one-on-one title opportunity in 11 or 12 years of working for WWE." He goes on to say, what was the really awesome line? He goes, I look into your eyes and I know that you're scared. I can feel you tremble from the other side of the ring.
Yeah.
And I know that you're trembling because you know what happens next. That we go to WrestleMania and that I beat you and become the new WWE champion. And he signs the contract. And
No, it was a really great promo, and like you said, it was really nice to see Kofi actually speaking for himself.
Yes.
And not even just that, doing very, very, very well, and pitching a very good promo on his behalf. So that promo was really nice. I really like... There's some things about the build-up to this match that I really didn't like. I think the whole Kofi against the system dynamic that they were doing was extremely heavy-handed, and really didn't come off the way that they were hoping that it would, really. That being said, though, every time Kofi's gotten in the ring, Daniel Bryan's gotten in the ring, or New Day, or whoever it be, every time they've gotten together, they've done a good promo, and did not exceptionally well, but pretty well for building the match. So I really don't know who I have in this match, to be honest. My head says that Daniel Bryan will retain here, specifically because if Kofi wins, now you have a very strange dynamic with New Day, where what is Xavier Woods and Big E doing? What are they bringing to the table? You have Kofi Kingston, who's the WWE champion, and now you have two guys that are almost like riding on their coattails. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thing, but it kind of puts... I think that would put New Day in a very weird position.
You bring up very interesting points. For me, this story, just like they've been telling us all along, is a very obvious callback to Daniel Bryan's run up to WrestleMania 30 with the Yes Movement. So with Kofi Mania, I mean, I obviously see, potential either way. With Daniel Bryan winning, he can continue being a great heel. I mean, that's, you could send it over whoever you want to after him. I mean, you could obviously continue on with the story of him and AJ. Continue to have better matches there. I mean, it could be anybody. If you have Joe dropping the title to Ray or to John Cena, you could have Samoa Joe versus Daniel Bryan. You'd have to figure that out. You'd have to make Samoa Joe a babyface somehow.
Good luck. Good freaking luck.
We also have a roster shakeup probably on the horizon very soon. So you could definitely send somebody over. If Dean Ambrose really has re-signed and we're just going to send him away for a little bit somewhere, you could always have him come back and be on SmackDown and be like, listen, Daniel Bryan, I'm tired of you running your mouth. Somebody needs to shut you up. And
man, a Daniel Bryan Dean Ambrose rivalry
it'd be unique.
Be the bee's knees. I think it'd be great.
It would be the bee's knees. So, I mean, I'm actually gonna go with Kofi Kingston though.
Yeah.
I think Kofi's gonna win the title off of Daniel Bryan, and this is gonna be a wildly unpopular opinion, but I think that New Day starts celebrating the ring. They're throwing pancakes everywhere. It's all great.
Yeah. Those leotard pancakes.
Yeah. Big E whips some pancakes from out of his singlet.
Yeah.
It's all fun. It's all great. Kofi gives a hug to Xavier Woods. Kofi leans in to give a hug to Big E.
Oh man.
And then the camera zooms in, and Kofi's holding the title, and you just see Big E's lips and his face, and he kind of frowns, and you just see Big E mouth the words, "Kofi, I'm sorry," and then he just Big E slams Kofi Kingston, kills him dead.
Oh,
and then Kofi Kingston versus Big E is the rivalry, and then you can put the title onto Big E.
Okay, hold on. There's a lot to unpack here. Hold on. So, one, what? 2, where's Xavier Woods?
He gets beaten up by sorry, let me get closer to the mic. I had to step away for a second. Xavier Woods is also in the ring.
Right. No, but I mean, like, where does this leave Xavier Woods after that? If you're starting a Kofi Big E rivalry,
I think you could still have Kofi and Xavier still be friends, tag team partners, just like what you had when the Shield broke up.
Would they still be New Day?
Yeah.
I think Big E makes New Day, honestly.
Or they reform and rename their team Fresh Afternoon.
Oh, God.
They start throwing waffles everywhere.
Oh, no. I mean, there's been more wacky stuff in wrestling before. That's certainly not off the table.
I mean, you can still have Kofi work his way towards a rematch with Big E, maybe towards SummerSlam, perhaps.
I just don't know if Kofi and Big E is a big enough match for a WWE Championship.
Is Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston a big enough match?
Yes.
Well, fair enough.
100%. I believe that. Yeah. Because you can say what you want about Kofi.
I have nothing against Kofi, by the way.
Not you necessarily,
right,
but
right.
You can say whatever you want against Kofi. He's been putting in work for 11 years.
Yeah, true.
And I don't know, man.
But look, it's WrestleMania. They want to create something that's memorable and something that's going to reverberate through the remainder of the year.
You want memorable? Okay, hold on. How about Hornswoggle comes out from underneath the ring?
Okay.
And I don't know, shenanigans. I just thought of Hornswoggle
Eats pancakes with the New Day.
Yeah.
Is that where we're going? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Why not?
That's very memorable.
Yeah. and I don't know, man. He could screw Kofi out of his title shot, and then we get a Kofi Hornswoggle rivalry
For the title.
for the title.
Jeez. Look, I'll leave you with this. Nobody saw Shinsuke low blowing AJ last year. Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
Who could have ever seen Big E turning on the New Day and going after the title? I'm just saying.
I mean,
it could happen.
It could happen.
Watch it happen, Steven. It's
Hey, if that happens, okay, I'll let it slide. I really don't think it will.
Yeah.
But I will eat my words if it happens.
Yeah. I mean,
are you making that formal prediction, sir?
Yeah. Let's
yeah.
Yeah. I get.
Oh man.
Yeah. I guess I might as well make it for the record. Yeah.
Big E heel turn.
I'm calling a Big E heel turn. I mean,
Okay.
if he doesn't, that's fine. You could still do Kofi Kingston versus Kevin Owens, Kofi Kingston versus Mustafa Ali, Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan again, because that's always going to work apparently.
Right.
I could see it happen. Yeah,
We'll have to wait and see.
we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
The next match, because I feel like we need a little bit of a lull before we get to the next two matches here, but the returning Roman Reigns returning to WrestleMania here against Drew McIntyre in a little bit of a one-on-one contest. It's going to be pretty much your straightforward big man match here. I can see it going either way. I mean, Roman Reigns has obviously had a crazy run at WrestleManias more recently. I think Drew McIntyre's needing the win more, to be honest. That way, so whatever happens in the Raw Universal title match, you could have Drew McIntyre sitting in wait.
Yeah, no, with this match specifically, Roman doesn't need any more wins to put him over. That man is over the moon at this point. I think Drew McIntyre would have to win here. Specifically, I've said this before on the podcast, I'm not the biggest Drew McIntyre fan. Obviously, he's great in the ring, everything like that. It's just something about his character really just doesn't do it for me. But, they have been jamming him down our throats for the past couple months. So I think at this point, you've gone through the whole thing of making this match official. Roman doesn't need any more help. I think, Drew would have to go over.
I think Roman will end up looking very strong in the match, and that when Drew McIntyre does win and he walks out of the ring, he'll be beaten up for sure. Yeah. But I think Roman will look strong.
He'll get a thank you Roman chant. Yeah. All kinds of stuff like that.
Maybe a standing ovation.
Oh yeah.
But Drew will come out the victor here. That would be my prediction on that.
That's how I see it. I personally Not honestly, I'm not really the biggest fan of either one, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But I'm a bigger Roman fan than I am McIntyre, so I would personally probably want Roman to go over here. But based on everything that we've seen in the build-up towards this, I would say Drew's going to go over.
Okay. Yeah, word. So let's talk about a match that's near and dear to your heart here, Steven.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title.
Yeah.
So,
this is WWE's last-ditch effort to make the Universal title mean anything. I'm just going to come out and say it. Because we've had this part-time champion holding this title hostage.
Yeah.
He can't work on the mic. He doesn't look that good in the ring. I am completely over Brock Lesnar. Get him out of here. Put the title on someone that freaking deserves it. Someone that respects the industry. Someone that respects the wrestlers that he's going up against.
Yeah.
I'm really fiery right now, but this is their last chance.
Burn it down, Steven.
This is their last chance to make that title mean something.
Yeah,
because right now, it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no. I agree with you. The stock on the Universal title is pretty low. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still with us, Steven's obviously very passionate about this Brock Lesnar title run and what it means to him. I do think that ultimately... I feel like this WrestleMania, of all WrestleManias, is supposed to be more feel-good because, let's be real, WWE has been all about heat this year.
100%.
You know, it's like everywhere you turn, there's something happens to somebody who you love, and it's just Game of Thrones or meets Walking Dead. Everybody's just plummeting or losing. Or
everyone's dying, everyone's crying. Yeah. It's all just sadness around.
So I feel like this WrestleMania, of all WrestleManias, needs to be feel good, and that the fans leave happy.
Yeah.
Which that to me means Seth Rollins winning.
Yeah.
I think that if Drew McIntyre does win his match against Roman Reigns, this obviously sets up Drew versus Seth. Is something that you could do. Obviously, with the shake-up coming up, you can obviously put up whoever you want to go up against Seth Rollins, really.
Yeah.
But that seems to be the most obvious place to go, in my opinion, is to put the title on Seth.
Yeah. Or who knows? You can have Brock Lesnar retain for the 94th time, and then he can go away for 3 months, and we won't even talk about him.
Hold on. He hasn't even defended the title 94
I know.
times.
He's defended it, like 4 times?
Probably less than 10.
Yeah. Like...
In over the course of 2 years, less than 10 defenses is not a great average.
To me, and I don't mean this in a funny way or anything like that, to me, that is unacceptable. I'm serious.
Yeah, I know you are.
How can that be okay? This whole Brock Lesnar title reign has been just so confusing to me because you have the champion who is very, very clearly not liked. Very, very clearly. And do you disagree with that?
No. I mean, this goes all the way back to last year when people were like, "Oh, Brock's leaving. Let's, I mean, we're gonna boo Brock because he's leaving, and we're gonna boo Roman because screw Roman, right?
Yeah,
like that was the theme of last year's main event. You were there. We had a party here at my house and we watched the main event, and the crowd would just not stop.
Yeah,
like just raining boos on everybody. It was bad.
The boos towards Brock are genuine and deserved.
So let me throw a little bit of a spanner in here for you.
A what?
A spanner.
What is that?
Let me throw a little bit of a kink in here for you, Steven.
Okay. Man, you're teaching me all kinds of words.
Yeah,
and phrases.
I'm like 95 mentally here as far as my vocabulary goes.
I see.
It's crazy.
Like age?
Yeah.
Like you're 95 years old?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's great.
I didn't know what you were going with there.
I'm gonna give you some verbiage from the swinging 20s.
How old are you,
Roaring
Tanner?
20s? I don't know, dude.
I've only known you for like 2 years.
Yeah, my soul's like 300 years old. It's crazy. Yeah, no. So, not to get all derailed here. You're not a UFC fan by any chance?
I mean, I'll catch some matches here and there. Really, I just watch the McGregor matches because he's the popular one. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy who brings the buy rates, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a little there's a guy. I'm not gonna call him little. He's huge. Daniel Cormier. Does that name ring a bell with you? Okay.
Yep.
Daniel Cormier is currently the UFC heavyweight champion.
Okay.
He is a legendary collegiate amateur wrestler. He's probably all time, I would say top 5, if not top 3.
Right on. Okay.
For the longest time, he was both UFC light heavyweight champion and he went on to win the UFC heavyweight champion. So he was a dual champion in weight classes in 2 divisions.
Okay.
He is set to retire soon, and he's been calling out Brock Lesnar since last year, saying, "I want this match. I want this match. I want this match. I want to fight Brock." Well, Brock went to UFC, and they had a little bit of a shoving match, and nothing has come of it though, right? So they talked to Daniel Cormier on ESPN, and they say, "Well, when's this match with Brock going to happen?
What's up?
What's going to happen with Brock?" And he's like, "I don't know. Maybe I have to go to WrestleMania and cost him his title for him to get over to UFC." I talked about it, and you guys can go back. I swear I talked about it. Go back to our bonus pilot episode, and you'll recall I talked about that then. I think Daniel Cormier is going to come down to the ring and get involved, and we're going to see a bit of a co-promotion between UFC and WWE to promote a match between Daniel Cormier and Brock Lesnar. And once Daniel Cormier retires and beats Brock, he'll come and do commentary for WWE, and maybe take Corey Graves off of the commentary team.
Man, you're going all in on this. All in.
I've thought about this a long time, Steven. I've had months to think about this.
So, my problem with that is that if he does come in and interfere with the match,
yeah.
What type of match is this?
This is a straight up one-on-one match.
Yeah,
unless they call shenanigans before the match starts, and it's like, this is no disqualifications.
Yeah, so if he comes in and does some shenanigans, Brock Lesnar's still champ.
Ref bump, dog. You knock down the referee. Daniel Cormier comes out through the crowd, pounces on Lesnar, gives him a German suplex.
Man,
he knows some moves.
Whatever needs to happen
wakes
to
up
give
the ref.
Seth the title. I don't know.
Daniel Cormier wakes up the ref, and then he punches Paul Heyman.
Oh, okay.
He punches Paul Heyman. I don't know.
And
then Seth gives Brock Lesnar the stomp. The ref's revived. Counts 1, 2, 3. Ring the bell. Seth Rollins is champ.
I mean, so that gives me the end result that I want. Yeah. My problem with that is that it doesn't make Seth look strong. It looks like Seth can only win because someone from the UFC helped him win. And I don't like that.
I know you don't like that.
Yeah.
But Brock Lesnar, in his run, in Vince's defense here, not even really Brock's defense, in Vince's defense, they lack the perception that Brock could be defeated. Right? Like, there is no insight anywhere, no logic in their vocabulary that says Brock can be defeated by this guy.
Right.
Or by this guy.
Right.
Or by that guy. Right.
Or by this guy.
Or by this guy.
Yeah.
So, that's why it took Roman so long to beat Brock. Right. And they want to have Roman still be this kind of crown jewel kind of character. Not Saudi Arabia, but the crown, they want to be him to be the big dog.
Yeah, the golden boy.
The golden boy.
Yeah.
So I would only see it fitting that, again, maybe we have a little bit of shenanigans here and Seth wins the title. I think fans wouldn't necessarily mind Seth winning the title in whatever fashion he can, as long as he wins through shenanigans, as long as he wins the title. As long as it's not Brock Lesnar, I think that's what fans are wanting.
I mean, Seth straight up, no shenanigans pinning him is the way that I would want it to go down.
Yeah.
But if it goes down some other way, but it leads to Seth being champion,
Yeah.
I'll roll with it.
Cool.
You know, I'll roll with it. At this point, I really don't know, because I really, really want Seth to win, and I think he can. However, Vince loves Brock, so we'll just have to wait and see on this one.
Final prediction?
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins. I'm going Seth too.
Nice.
Before we go, guys, let's obviously get on to the match that we've all been waiting for.
Indeed. It'll be a great match.
In one corner, the Raw Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey.
Baddest bee on the planet.
That's what I hear. In another corner,
The Queen.
the Queen, Charlotte Flair.
Also SmackDown Women's Champion.
SmackDown Women's Champion. And in another corner,
The Man.
the man, Becky Lynch.
Yep.
Now, there's three women. They're not going to turn the ring into a triangle. This is going to be a regular square ring.
Nice.
Just wanted to preface that here because we only pointed out three corners.
See, I absolutely would have expected a triangular ring had you not said anything.
Oh, okay, cool.
So thank you.
Yeah, they're going to have to modify that. No. We'll leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. So, I mean, I see this as being a really, 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 really good match.
Absolutely. Yep.
I think all three women are super talented. I think that this whole Ronda being a shooter angle has been pretty successful for them, as much as it's riled up fans. I see that. I mean, from what I know, Charlotte is always a force to be reckoned with, and they propped her up pretty nicely in the last couple weeks, putting the title on her, as much as other fans have hated seeing Asuka lose the title.
Right.
And then Becky Lynch is the most over person.
She's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the answer is very clear here. This is a winner-takes-all triple threat match for both titles on the line. I mean, I can't see it being anybody other than Becky Lynch. Like I said, this is supposed to be a feel-good WrestleMania.
Yep.
I see Becky Lynch walking out with both titles.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you.
Confetti coming down from the rafters. I think that hopefully, and they never really emphasized it, but there was an episode of Raw, I want to say a couple weeks back, where Corey Graves let it slip that triple threat match means no DQ.
Yeah, that
rules,
makes zero sense.
Which, I mean, look, I'd be cool with it.
No, like,
have them like bring out ladders and tables and stuff.
yeah, I mean, for this specific match, a no DQ triple threat would be awesome.
Yeah.
But that is not a thing. Triple threat matches are by default DQ.
I mean, look, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
no, I know what to tell you.
Okay.
Triple threat matches by default have disqualifications.
Right.
I'm not making things up. That's a thing. What are you talking about, Corey?
I think in the traditional rules, yes, it's you don't there are disqualifications,
right?
But that's not really fair to the other person. Like, you have to, they're gonna be like, well, what the heck, you didn't hit me with a chair, or whatever. So I could see it being a no disqualification rules kind of thing. I think that adds a bit more dynamic to the match too. Yeah. Like you having that spot where Becky, does a leg drop off a ladder, or Ronda's, beating people up.
Yeah.
Maybe Ronda gets a kendo stick and gives Charlotte comeuppance from Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Charlotte maybe
Ronda gets a hold of a crutch.
A crutch?
And goes to town.
Perhaps so.
Yeah, payback.
Charlotte maybe putting somebody through a table. I think all this stuff could happen.
Yeah, I mean, a no DQ match for this match specifically would be awesome. Honestly, I think Corey just misspoke. Really.
Maybe.
Maybe. Who knows? Who freaking knows with with the announcement team, to be honest.
But I think that you and I are on the same page here, is what it sounds like. They're going to give Becky Lynch her moment. She's going to be coronated as the top star in WWE. And that's,
rightfully so.
That's going to be that. Yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah.
What they do with her being a dual champion, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I saw something online. This isn't like a rumor or anything like that, but just people talking about it. The likelihood of this unifying the women's championship and possibly just having a WWE women's championship, which, me personally, I like that idea. I think with the women's roster being a little bit smaller than the men's, I think it might be cool to do brand crossover in the women's division. That'd be really cool, would lead to a lot of really cool matches. However, that does take down 2 titles into one. That's less women that can be champion at all, but I think it'd be a cool idea.
A little bit off subject from WrestleMania, but more to your point here. What would you think about, like, post WrestleMania, since they're doing this shakeup and they've kept telling us that we're going to make things fresh?
Right.
What would you think about them maybe doing, like, this whole, like, let's start unifying the titles thing? Because you have you have Sasha and Bayley traveling to all the brands defending the titles. That's what they said that they were going to do.
Yeah.
Let's unify the women's title. Maybe put it on a white strap. The Raw and SmackDown title. Maybe like white with gold trimming, just like it is straight up WWE thing. And then maybe try and unify the Universal title with the WWE title. Maybe retire the Universal title at some point. I feel like that's really only fitting because of Brock.
Yeah, 100%.
You could unify the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title together. Maybe retire the U.S. title. I just see the Intercontinental be more valuable, and maybe also for the tag team titles.
Yeah,
I just think like traveling champions would be cool because you could always have new, fresh matchups, and champions could go to the, you could alternate the brands that they go to and 100% have the rivalries with.
Yeah, no, I do like that idea. For me specifically, for it to be done how I would want it to be done, it would have to be specific titles being unified and specific titles being kept separate. For example, tag titles, I think, should be kept separate.
Okay.
Just because, the tag titles, the U.S. title, and the Intercontinental title, I would want to be separate, just because I do like that there is brand-specific titles. I do like that, because, when the shakeup comes around, oh man, look at that, Kofi Kingston can get the U.S. title now, or whatever it may be. But I do like the idea for the big titles, like the women's title, the WWE Championship, the really big ones, I think would benefit from being unified and having a cross-brand or cross-promo champion. I think that's a much better idea. But, yeah, right now, it's fine too. Honestly, I could go either way. I do like the sheer amount of crazy matches that we get with all these split titles, but if you do unify them, it makes the fewer matches feel much bigger.
Right. Well, and I think there's something to be said for you get into these ruts like what we did last year, especially with the WWE title, where you had a run of 3 matches with AJ versus Nakamura, a run of another 3 matches of AJ versus Joe. Some of these matchups get monotonous because there's not really let's use this phrase, there's not really a ranking. Right, it's just like, okay, well, who can we get the title, match up next?
Right.
Let's put Samoa Joe with AJ. We'll do a series of matches like that. And I think this whole Fox thing could really change things for WWE if they're trying to make a more legit athletic product, right? So my proposal would be, yeah, sure, let's unify all the titles. Let's have a pay-per-view after the shakeup where all the titles are unified. And you know what? We'll go into the next night on Raw, and we're going to start doing a stacked rankings. So you could have the tag team champions defend their title against a Raw tag team, let's say, on one pay-per-view. And on that same pay-per-view, there will be a SmackDown number one contenders match for the tag team titles.
Alternate brands.
Yep. So the next pay-per-view, you are already anticipating, okay, well, I know I'm going to see the Usos, who are the tag team champions, take on the Bar, who are now on Raw. You know, I know I'm going to see that matchup next. So that way you're kind of alternating where the title's going to go.
Yeah.
Or what matchups that you have, rather. And you get that more anticipation saying, oh, okay, well, I know that Aleister Black is ranked 3 on the Intercontinental title list, and he's facing Samoa Joe, who's number 1 ranked. Oh, man, Aleister Black, a 3 rank just beat a 1 rank?
Yeah.
He's gonna have he's gonna have that title match next against Finn.
It's a really cool dynamic, for sure. I really like that, and it does like you were saying on Fox, if they're looking for a more competitive action sports product, that would definitely be a really good way to do it. And also, if you really think about it, the whole idea of number 1 contender has been very, very absent recently.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily the title match goes to the most deserving guy, but it goes to whoever came out and talked some smack to the champion at the right time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so it's almost just a popularity contest where you're putting the big guys in the championship matches, but not necessarily they didn't earn it, but to a certain degree they didn't earn it. You know what I mean?
You're right.
So I do like that idea a lot. Bringing back the number 1 contender, starting a whole ranking system. I think that'd be really cool, and it would be really nice for their Fox deal as well.
Right. It would just set up a whole new dynamic for the way that WWE thinks going forward from here. And I think that would be refreshing, because these rankings now could have a whole new dynamic on how how storylines play out, right? So that's just my thought. Obviously that's whether or not that happens, let's remain to be seen. That's not even a rumor floating around. That's just me shooting from the hip here.
Yeah.
But overall, I think what we're going to see here with this title match, hopefully, is a unification of the women's titles. And to me, there was no one better to do that going forward than Becky Lynch.
No, 100%. Yeah, the best case scenario is Becky walks out unified women's champion. For sure.
Any final thoughts on this WrestleMania preview that we need to know about, Steven?
Man, I'm excited for it. There's some interesting matches in here. Some matches that I think were built very strangely or booked very strangely.
To say the least.
That being said, though, I do think we're going to have Seth Rollins slay the Beast. I do think we're going to have Becky Lynch become champion. There's going to be some good stuff in here for sure.
Absolutely. I think that just about covers it. Just some quick final notes here. I wanted to give a quick shout out to a couple people here. We recently just made over 200 followers. As of right now on Twitter, we're at 241 followers.
Thank you, guys.
So I wanted to thank everybody who follows us right now, especially a couple of guys. Mike Charlotte, who is on Twitter at MikeJC821. He has a blog that he does for wrestling. He's been supporting us since day one. He's a really, really cool guy. So we want to thank you, Mike, for being so supportive of us. Definitely recommend checking out his blog. He's a really awesome guy. He recently wrote up something on the NXT TakeOver card, which I highly recommend. You can look at his blog online. It's MikeJCOnWrestling.com. Again, that's MikeJCOnWrestling.com. So check out that blog. Check out that article about the NXT TakeOver card. I know we talked about it. Like I said, I'm looking forward to that just as much, if not more, than WrestleMania, to be honest. So definitely shout out to Mike. Also, a shout out to another guy who we talked a little bit about him on last week's episode. Let me get my notes here real quick here. This guy, Jeremy. He on Twitter, you can find him at just Jeremy Hey Yo. He's been a supporter of us since day one as well.
Yep.
Both he and Mike have helped, spread the word about us and get more people following Headlock Talk. And I hope that you guys on Twitter, if you are following us, that you listen to the episodes. You hit that subscribe button on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube, of course.
Yep.
So that way you can stay in touch with all the great content that we'll be putting out. We're talking about reformatting the show a little bit more, so that way it's a little bit more digestible, and we can hopefully keep it under an hour. We love talking to you guys on a weekly basis. I know that anything over an hour can be a little bit, sometimes, but I think it's well worth your time.
Absolutely,
right? Yeah. So we'll make some changes, see what we can do to make it awesome for you guys. Of course, we would love any feedback that y'all would want to share with us.
Absolutely.
Please don't hesitate to hit us up at Headlock Talk on Twitter to share feedback that you would like or things that you would like to see us try, new segments perhaps. So definitely want that feedback. You can also email us, headlocktalk@gmail.com. Again, that's headlocktalk@gmail.com. I think that's everything, right, Steven?
I believe so. Sweet. We are on a lot of different places in the internet now.
Yeah.
Lots of different places. So if you guys like the content that we do, want to find it, you can find it all over the place now, and that makes me happy.
Makes my heart happy, guys.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate all the love that you guys have been showing us online, especially at Twitter. But yeah, keep on listening. Hit that subscribe button. We would love your feedback. You know where to find us.
Yep.
My name's Tanner. To my right. Look, I got it right.
My name's Steven.
This is Steven, the one and only Steven. And we wish you guys a wonderful WrestleMania weekend. We will talk to you guys again on Friday night, where we will be doing our takeover review show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll try and talk to you guys on Saturday night as well. See how this G1 Supercard turns out. I'm sure it'll be just fine. We'll just have to see what kind of shape I'm in after the show. And then Sunday as well. We'll be doing the WrestleMania review. So keep in touch, guys. We're gonna have about 5 shows in the course of a week. So try and keep up with us, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Later, y'all.
Later, y'all.